Good afternoon, Dr. Mancheno. We would like to ask you about the recent agreement between the governor of Virginia, McAuliffe. He signed the agreement with hundreds of businessmen in communist Vietnam. And we know that the communist Vietnamese have been committing lots of atrocities, and they jail the good people, the dissidents, and they are next to like the communist Korean, the North Korean. Do you have any plan, any way of influencing the government here to stop dealing with the communist Vietnamese?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have actually been working in partnership with Boat People SOS and Dr. Thang and other community leaders here in Northern Virginia to address this particular issue. And that is that memorandum of understanding that was signed as a cooperative for future trade agreement with the 6 provinces, the leadership of the 6 provinces, did not incorporate not one voice of us, the Vietnamese community here in Virginia at all. And the issue is that nothing in that memorandum of understanding, as it stands today, has any trade integrity protection for the business owners, the potential entrepreneurs. We all want opportunities to expand our businesses, to expand trade with other countries. However, it has to be done with integrity, and it has to be done with consideration that the country that we're dealing with understand and protect human rights, and that people that are investing their hard-earned money here in the United States, in Vietnam, that their investment is in fact protected in what is known to be a very corrupt government. A government that does not protect its own people, that violates human rights, and also persecutes religious freedom. So we must incorporate considerations of our Vietnamese business leaders when we develop treaties, memorandums of understanding, or any trade agreement. But to have zero participation is totally unacceptable. And so we are, as a community, as a group, addressing that particular issue. And for whatever governor gets elected, we will continue that fight. So we need to get this done because it cannot repeat itself, and it should not go any further. So we are asking for a revocation of that memorandum of understanding because it is totally unacceptable, does not protect, and does not take into consideration the thousands of Vietnamese Americans that the Vietnam government has expropriated their lands without fair consideration or compensation of any kind. We cannot allow that as Americans, and we as Vietnamese American community cannot allow that to have any further life. So we are all for revocation of that memorandum of understanding as it currently stands.
Thank you, Dr. Manchano. I have another question that's very close, very dear to our heart. Recently, the communists and the Viet Cong sent at least 2 men wearing the Viet Cong flag, and they parade around the Eden Center. We felt very hurt, harassed, and kind of like violated. They violated our rights, our environment. Do you have any plans to help us to stop those things from happening?
That's another issue we've been working on very strongly with Boat People SOS. And there's very different vectors that we can use, different ways that we can use to attack this situation. Now, we all understand as Americans, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom to demonstrate. But that does not mean that we have freedom to harass a peaceful people in a place that engages with quality of life and entertainment and just family time, which is the Eden Center for the Vietnamese community and for others in Fairfax County. So we are working as community leaders. We have Vietnamese leaders, Vietnamese American leaders, that are working with Boat People SOS to attack this particular issue from different dimensions. From a legal perspective of how can we put constraints and ensure that there is no harassment of the businesses and the territory. But at the same time, that we, the people, together the community, rise up and take a stand against any type of harassment that comes to the community. So we are actually being emboldened to take a stand ourselves and show these folks that are trying to harass, trying to put their political agenda and intimidate, because we understand they start taking pictures and sending them back to the home country and tormenting the people back in Vietnam. We're not going to accept that. So together as community, we're going to fight it, but at the same time, we're going to take legal action to ensure that this does not continue.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mancheno. That's great. That is great. All of us here will support you. We will. We'll come out to vote for you.
Thank you. And I just want to share, I have become now a personal friend of so many in the Vietnamese community here in Northern Virginia. And I just want to ask you for this particular time. This is a vote that is very important like never before. We have an open seat in a district that is highly diverse, that has a huge Vietnamese population. In fact, my opponent is Vietnamese. Yet, it is I who have been working closely, hand in hand, marching, fighting together with the Vietnamese community. Not because I'm Vietnamese, but because I love America and because the Vietnamese community is America today. And because we want liberty, we want freedom, we want prosperity. As an immigrant, my parents suffered and worked hard so that I can today be in front of you as a doctor, as an engineer, as a business owner, as a college professor. And my commitment to you is a personal pledge to fight right along with you because we're fighting for the American dream. I want you to make history with me, with us. Be the first time that the Vietnamese community comes in full force to vote November 7th for Lolita Mancheno Smoak, an immigrant just like you, a fighter just like you, for a beautiful Northern Virginia. Thank you.